my channel. So today I wanted to film my first experience with getting radiation, and it was pretty a really crazy intenseful experience because when you've never had something like that done before, it really is like scary, and I'm just being honest on how my feelings were. If you don't know why I am getting radiation, I will direct you to my first video of what I was diagnosed with, which was AVM, arterial venous valve malformation. I will direct you to that video. I recommend watching that video first and then coming back and then watching this video, because that will help sort of clarify some questions on why I'm getting radiation. So how the radiation day looked, I thought I was going to film, get some clips. It did not end up working. I was really just a very nervous wreck. Going into this, I know the doctors wanted me to come in earlier, so I want to give you a layout of what the whole day looked like. So they wanted me to come in. My appointment, I think, was scheduled, this was a couple weeks ago, it was scheduled for about like at 1 o'clock, 1:30, but they wanted me to come in at like, I would say 11, just to go over just what's going to be done today and what they're going to target and so on and so forth. And that was sort of not the best appointment. And before I continue, I just want to preface this. Not a doctor, this is just what my experience is and how I felt. Look like everyone has their own different experience on how they go about things and what their doctors decide to do. But continuing, so my appointment was scheduled at like 1. They wanted me to come in at 11, so I came in at 11 and just sort of go over everything of what they're going to treat today, what they're going to treat the next time, some causes if something was to happen, this is what's going to happen, and all of my things if something was to seriously go wrong was very low percentage, within the 5 to 10% of something seriously going wrong. And for this one in particular, if something seriously was to go wrong, and thank you, nothing has happened, knock on wood, would be because they were going to treat a very large like lesion in more the back of my head that sort of hit both sides of the left and the right side of my brain. And with that, they were going to treat it, and it would be more like I would lose a little bit of my balance and just sort of like my motor skills. And again, that was a very low percentage that was happening, but you know, doctors just have to go the negative route of what could happen when going through any procedure, and that's pretty much standard protocol. And then they walk through some of the next couple treatment plans they want to do, and I'll sort of touch on that more at the end. So we went through, I signed the consent form saying, yep, I'm okay, let's go forward with radiation. We took like an hour gap, and yeah, we took an hour gap. I went to lunch, ate something because I wasn't sure how I was going to feel. The doctors definitely prefaced, like, if I felt nauseous at all, to definitely call the doctors after, because that should not happen, and that could mean possible brain swelling and different types of symptoms. So I went to lunch. My nerves were just really like crazy because I've never had something like that happen or go through something like this. I've done already a couple of procedures treating my brain, but it's really crazy to see how from something small can go so large. So it's crazy that even though you thought it was just a headache, the headache turned to a migraine, and the migraine turned to a condition which I have is called AVM, which is Z. And so what they were going to do is more just treat the head. I'm not getting radiation anywhere else in my body. It's literally just going to be the head portion. So like I said, let's go back. Sorry if I tend to rumble in the story. This was a couple weeks ago, so I'm not quite remembering all the details. So we went to lunch, came back. I was really nervous, to be honest. They come in the room, they're like, okay, these are your doctors, so and so and so, repeat your name, Shania. I didn't have to I could literally be wearing what I was wearing, a basic t-shirt, so on and so forth. We sat in the room. Prior to radiation, I had to make a cast, and it was sort of just like almost like a big mask that really sucks into your head because they need to make sure your head's tight, and also to protect you in certain areas from the radiation and to make sure everything is very exact. So as I got on the table, they're like, okay, what music do you want to play? Of course, I don't know if I mentioned this in my early video, Kanye West is like my good luck charm music. I played him with all my procedures, and everything has been going smoothly. So it's like my little good luck charm. I said I want to play Kanye West playlist. They could hook that up. And then I laid down on the table. It's sort of, if you ever had like a CT scan, it was that some type of thing, look in machine, but it was very different. You weren't like, you were still out in the open and the machine went around you. And so they put the mask on, they put like a little bar to hold my mouth a certain way, and they're like, okay, is everything good? I hold like something to hold my arms together since I was laying down, and they said, okay, we're just going to do a quick scan and then we'll start the radiation, and then you'll know once it starts. And as I'm laying there, I just think like, wow, this is my life, and I know it could be a lot worse, and I'm definitely aware, but it's crazy. I sit there on the table and I'm like, wow, it's crazy how something small could turn so large. And I'm in a much better state talking about this than I did a couple months ago. A couple months ago, it was a really hot mess. I was very angry inside and just how I felt. So they laid me on the table, got everything prepped, the doctors left the room, and then the radiation started, and it was very quick. It was about a 45-minute procedure. They only were targeting one area, and then it felt like the sensation just felt like something was like going into my head, which, yeah, is radiation. It was sort of warm, and it was targeting the head. And it was just a weird sensation. It did not hurt me at all. I was very calm. They really say you want to try to really be in a calm state when it comes to doing radiation in your head. I actually will try to pop a photo of the example of like a head cast for when you get radiation and what that looks like, so you can see what I was wearing. And so yeah, so I did that. It finished. I was like, okay, that was it. Okay, everything was smoothly. I felt fine. I came home relaxed, but I really wasn't really disrupted in my normal routine. I didn't feel bad. I felt pretty good. And a couple days after, my headaches were like, I had none. I felt so good the couple days after my headaches, and I felt like everything was going good. Come around Monday, and I guess from different people, they say like by like after you do it a couple days after, you feel good, but then sometimes like if you can really, the radiation could really hit you. And the headaches were so bad. It was like from like when I initially got really bad headaches, it was like to that level of pain. And this was over a year ago I've ever had pain feel that way. My headaches were non-stop. I was taking medicine a lot. I thought, oh my goodness, what is going on? Lucky enough, they seemed to subside, but it really put a damper to things because I really was really affected just with the pain. And when you have your head constantly go poof, 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 it's exhausting. And lucky enough, it seems past, and I think from that I do have my good days versus my bad days. Some days are better than others, and I just cherish the moments that I really feel good, because when you don't feel good, you really just don't want to do anything. You don't even really want to go to work. You just want to lay down and watch TV and chill and go to sleep and take a nap. So that pretty much is the whole radiation experience. It wasn't probably too entertaining, but for my first one, it was pretty like a very like in moment thing. In the moment, it was a lot, and now like explaining it, it wasn't too bad. And this is 3 weeks post radiation, and since now I'm doing pretty good, going back to my normal routine, working out when I can, going to work because I do work full time, and just sort of taking it day by day. They do plan for another radiation in January, and that's where they'll target more of the different lesions in my brain. They might target more at once. I do have some like in between, from how they describe, like in between my eyes on either side of my brainstem. A couple sort of sporadic, just very small ones. So they're probably what my doctor has said, they're either going to go in with another radiation, possibly 2, and then, or they'll just go in with 1 radiation and then go in with a procedure called embolization, which is, I believe is the right term, but that's just sort of what I call it. It's like an angiogram embolization. So I have a port in my artery blocking it off. And so the doctors go in, and it's the same procedure I've had before. They'll go in and go all the way up to my brain through my artery. And the one that they're going to treat is, I have my brain stem, and then I have 2 lesions on each of my brain stem. And from what my doctors discussed, doing radiation in those areas is very highly dangerous because of the fact of it's next to your brain stem. If something was to happen, it is more impactful things. I could be blind or go deaf, or either or both, and they really just don't want to take the risk with that, and so they want to go with that same procedure up, which I'm actually really comfortable with because I've had that done a couple times, and for me it's more comforting because I just feel like it's a very exact method of blocking the blood flow off to those areas, so nothing bad happens down the line. So, but that's sort of the plan down the road. I'll probably film like after I get my second radiation and just give a little update of how I'm feeling. And then if I have a third radiation, I'll definitely film that. If not, I'll go into my procedure and I'm more comfortable on those days, so I'll try to maybe get some clips. If not, I'll just do a sit down, just sort of explaining how that experience went, maybe post some photos up during the presentation. During the video. If you couldn't catch, sorry if I'm very confusing when I talk. I try to remember things, but it just doesn't all come out clearly. But yeah, so that is my first experience of having radiation ever. It definitely was an experience, and I definitely am doing a lot better from the initial day. I was very nervous. I didn't know what to expect, but now that I know sort of what to expect, my next one is just going to get better and better. And I'm just on the road to getting better and in better health and being my best self and being able to just live the rest of my life happy and healthy. So that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please hit subscribe and join the journey, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.